Cooking and cleaning, what is it that you think she needs to grow in this way in order to not be lazy and not show that she's ambivalent about our marriage?
Maybe I was expressing it the wrong way.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're talking to you about Married at First Sight, but we're dealing with O and Katina, dealing with Olajuwon and Katina. You know, there seems to be a pattern of behavior for O. He seems to do something that I'm kind of clocking, and like I said it last week. There are patterns to some of the way he behaves that are getting close to that abusive nature. And just even this episode, he did it once more again. He started choking up, started getting emotional, and he said, "You know what? Because I really care about you." Now, it may be that he's actually genuinely trying to let her know that he does care about her, and that's why he's saying what he's saying. But they are also what abusers normally exchange as information. They'll be like, I only do what I do because I care about you. And it's like, again, your behavior, your tone, your demeanor, your energy, as your wife has said, is off and it needs to change ASAP Rocky. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go on the show. So please, if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor. Like it, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there, they are hot, okay? Now, before we go any further as well, do me another massive favor. I've been drafted into Influence Me TV. Listen, up until the 21st of March, I need as many votes as I can get, baby. Okay, so listen, all you got to do is click on the links down below. There are two of them, one for over 50, one for below 50K followings. Click on both of those links and vote once on each one. If you feel led to buy votes, because you appreciate the kind of work that I do on the channel, fantastic. If not, I totally understand. Not a big problem at all. But please go on those links, vote for LBB91, and it's be much appreciated. All right, let's jump into the show straight away. Let's get a video and let's go on.
It's frustrating because I care for you.
This is literally a repeat of what we saw last week. All right. Or was it last week where he said, listen, you know what? I'm frustrated because I care for you. But it's after you've said all the crap that you just said once more. Right. And it's like you said the same thing with the boys, it's frustrating because I care about her. After saying all the crap that you just said, right? And I'm not saying that you can't complain. That's not what I'm alluding to. I'm alluding to the fact that you berate. I'm alluding to the fact that you chastise. I'm alluding to the fact that you use incorrect language. I'm alluding to the fact that you have words that cut and break down an individual person. And as you hear later on, Katina saying, listen, I've got insecurities, and you're harping onto them. Now, I'm not saying that you can't say, hey, look, this is not working, this is not working. But I'm saying to you, why are you hammering down on her once more again? I agree with you, in the sense of she should be able to do simple house chores. Like if I'm going to sleep, if before we go to sleep, let's clean the house. I'm a person like that too. If I've had a house party, I don't want to go to sleep and my missus in the house, I'm like, listen, babe, let's clean this together. Or it may be the case I might be saying, babe, do you know what? I can see you're tired. You go to bed. I'll do the cleaning today. That can be it. And I understand if the person doesn't offer or whatever, doesn't show some, I guess it's a bit like, oh, babe, are you sure? Like everybody wants that kind of thing, right? But the way you talk about the issues is what's important. The way you discuss it, the way that you say how you feel is the issue. And so I'm having a problem because I'm seeing a pattern. And the pattern is the berating and then after. But it's frustrating because I care about you. And that is a pattern that abusers often use. I hit you but you know what? I care about you. I wouldn't have done what I'd done if I had not been. And you're going to see it come up in a second or two when he does it, right? We're going to get there.
I get emotional because when you feel like you're giving 100,
say I.
So he started with this point, right? It's where it's going to end. That's important. He obviously said, "Listen, I get frustrated because I feel like when I give 100%, right, I feel like potentially she's not giving the same amount, right? That's where he wants to go to, right? And again, we also understand that, listen, there are going to be things in relationships that we don't see. We totally get it that you may have a different viewpoint to her. But again, how are you addressing the issue? And that's why I have a problem with the fact that he said, I care about you, because it normally comes after a berating. Okay?
I feel like I'm giving myself, and I get no reaction, and I express how I feel because.
And we always get this crying act too, as well, in amongst it. So for me, and crying is not vulnerability. Please don't ever confuse the two. You can cry and not be vulnerable. Crying does not mean vulnerability. It can be a self-defense mechanism. It can be a way of excusing blame. It can be a way of excusing guilt. Crying can be happiness, joy. It does not necessarily mean you're being vulnerable. So we need to get that out of our minds. People be thinking, because I cried, that's vulnerability. No, crying is not vulnerability. It's just a tool, or it's just a reaction, a response to stimuli. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're necessarily being vulnerable. Okay?
I can't grow if I don't know how you feel. It's frustrating.
It's not for.
So he can't grow unless he knows how he feels. Good point, right? He absolutely cannot grow unless he knows how she feels. But sir, you've been told before that the way you speak is off point. This was at the horses, and she told you, don't do that to me, right? It's time to have a little bit of self-awareness now, because you've done it when cameras are not looking. You've done it when Dr. Viv is there. You've done it when Pascal's there. Okay, maybe not Pascal, but you've done it when Dr. Viv is there. You showed us how you really felt in the way you described, the way you spoke about the issue, the way you spoke about her. You've shown us that tone, right? That's an issue there, but let's continue.
Frustrating. It's scary.
It's scary. It's scary. Please open up. The cooking and cleaning.
Now, I get it again. He wants her to open up. He wants her to be more vulnerable. He wants her to be more open. Is he creating a safe space to do so? Is Olajuwon creating a safe space to do so? I want you to open up, but I don't create safe spaces for it. I want you to open up, but I don't create a place for you to feel comfortable. I want you to open up, but I criticize you highly. And I do it in a with verbiage that is very cutting. Tell me how I'm going to open up when you don't offer that safe landing space. All right? So you want her to do something, but you yourself are not providing the space for it. That's trouble. That's problematic. That is that's asking her to do something that you're not willing to provide at this particular time and moment. Okay.
You don't have to do that every day. I point those things out because that's the only way I can kind of bring it to you. You see, I am emotional with this.
I'm not accepting that. I'm sorry, I'm not accepting that. There's other things that I've said that other people were saying I was a bit mad. But this one, yeah, you've let it go. Why? This is madness. What? I bring up the cooking and cleaning because I want you to be more openly, emotionally vulnerable. I need to ask the question, what does that even mean, Because what you haven't done is explain the link for you emotionally, what cooking does. See, without that explanation, you can't then just say, do you know what? I don't worry about cooking and cleaning every day now. You know what it is, really? I just need to be open. What does cooking mean then? Because until we get that explanation, you're really not helping her either. You're actually not communicating the actual issue here. Because if you're saying that cooking is deeper than it actually is cooking, you said it's not about the cooking, not about the cleaning. It's about the fact that there's you bring up those points to make her to kind of draw her out in a sense to be more vulnerable. Well, sir, what does cooking and cleaning actually mean for you? All the while, I've not heard yet. We are still waiting for the explanation on it. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for you to explain what cooking and cleaning actually means for you. When you explain that, then we can get somewhere. You just saying that as a thing of a wife, that's the error we're having here. That's the error 404 we're having right here. And the issue, and also the thing is, do you even know why you want the cooking and cleaning? I don't think you do. That's why you have not explained it yet. I don't think you actually know why you want the cooking and cleaning. It's just an idea. It's an opinion based on, again, we broke down what opinion means. It's based on literally what you think is to be true, right? This is it, a view or judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. This is something that you have as an opinion. This is your belief, right? But you're not explaining the emotional components behind it. Maybe because you actually don't know. All right.
Marriage, you can see my frustration is coming off of the lack of you being vulnerable.
How do you?
You can see my frustration and comment at the lack of you being vulnerable. Well, I get it. I get it. Listen, you're absolutely right. Listen, frustration will kick off when someone's not being open, right? But the frustration shouldn't lead you to talk the way you're talking. That's what I'm having a problem with. I'm having a problem that we're explaining this behavior a better way. We're explaining the fact that your tone, your everything like this is all bad, as if the reason for it is because she's not being vulnerable. Her being vulnerable does not mean I start to get mean at you. Her not opening up does not mean I start getting mean. Now, listen, I can get frustrated, and I've talked to people before. I've talked to certain gal, and I don't feel like they're being open. I don't start cussing them. I don't start labeling their insecurity. I don't start breaking them down. You know what I mean? That's my issue right now that I'm seeing with O. That's why I said there's patterns that I'm starting to realize. I'm starting to see with his behavior that he doesn't realize, that he will need to check himself. Because if you look at the situation, where does the two conjoin? How do you be frustrated by the fact she's not open and then berate her for being lazy and all that stuff? But I'm only bringing the cooking and cleaning up because I want to be able to talk to you about what? It's not making sense, and it's not making sense because we're not explaining the full points. It's not unearthed.
I feel about what I'm saying, about how he's saying what he's saying.
I hear what you're saying, and I am going to try my best, my very best to be more.
Now, she says she's going to try her very best to be more vulnerable, try and be more open towards the situation. You know, I think Katina's a person that will consistently try to make an effort. Now, she may not be great at the domestics. Let's keep it 100 a buck. She may not be good at actually the cooking and cleaning aspect, but let's keep it 100. What we've seen for her is her trying, at least. In a relationship format, we've seen her try. And again on this episode, she tries again. Now, let's pay attention and see what happens in the next episodes, because will he again dog her out? Will he again cuss her out? Will he again put pressure on her? Will he again put blame on her for something? We'll find out in the next few episodes, won't we?
I want you to operate from a place of fear anymore. Okay? If you don't share with him, he's not going to know you well enough to be able to say yes.
Which is a fair point. You know, you got to be able to know the person so you can be able to share, and obviously then be able to have that vulnerability. I personally think that she won't get there before the end of the episode. I think she will before the end of the episode, before the end of the show, because like I said, he hasn't fostered a safe environment to do so. And I think also she's starting to see the patterns of behavior that she saw in the past with another partner. And I think that is also very difficult as well. I think in the back of her mind, she's going to have that thought. She might not do anything with it just yet, but the back of her mind, she's going to be thinking that, you know, back of her mind. So for me, yeah, I'm not feeling right now in the way that he's behaving. I think there are a lot of issues with the way he communicates and how he communicates. And that for me is a big issue when it comes to emotional maturity and also just looking after your partner, whether it's man or woman. And at the moment, I'm not kind of seeing that from O. So listen, once again, guys, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. Don't forget, vote for us as well. Click on the links down below. There are 2 of them. Use both of them. Use 1 vote each and support your boy going forward. That could be me. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. We'll see you again very soon.